If you haven't heard before, you might want to know this is Magic Tree House Book 1, Dinosaurs Before Dark, by Mary Pope Osborne. Chapter 7. Ready, set, go. Run, Annie, run! Cried Jack. To the treehouse. They dashed down the hill together, through the tall grass, through the ferns, past the pteranodon, and right up the rope ladder. Scrambled up. Seconds later, they tumbled into the treehouse. Annie leaped to the window. "He's going away," she said, panting. Jack pushed his glasses into place. He looked through the window with her. The Tyrannosaurus was wandering off, but then the monster stopped and turned around. "Duck!" said Jack. She was hunched down. For a long moment they raised their heads, peeked out again. "Coast clear," said Jack. "Yay!" whispered Annie. "We have to get out here," said Jack. "You may wish before," said Annie. "Wish we could go back to Frog Coop," said Jack. "Nothing happened." "I wish—" "Wait, you're looking at a picture in the dinosaur book, remember?" "Dinosaur book?" Jack groaned. "Oh, no, I left the book and my pack on the hill. Have to go back." "Oh, forget it," said Annie. "I can't. The book doesn't belong to us. Plus my notebook's in my pack with all my notes." "Hurry," said Annie. Jack hurried down the rope ladder. He leaped to the ground, raced past the pteranodon, through the ferns, through the tall grass, and up the hill. He looked down. There was his pack, lying on the ground. On top of it was the dinosaur book. Now the valley below was filled with Anatosauruses, all standing guard around the nest. Where had they been? Did the fear of Tyrannosaurus send them home? Jack took a deep breath. Ready, set, go! He charged down the hill, leaped to his back, skipped out, grabbed the dinosaur book. Terrible tuba sound. Another, and another. All the Anatosauruses were bellowing at him. Jack took off. He raced up the hilltop. He started down the hill. He stopped. Tyrannosaurus Rex was back, and he was standing between Jack and the treehouse. Chapter 8. A Giant Shadow. Jack jumped behind the magnolia tree. His heart was beating so fast he could hardly think. He peeked out at the giant monster. The horrible-looking creature was opening and closing his huge jaws. His teeth were as big as steak knives. "Don't panic. Think." Jack peered down at the valley. Good, duck-billed dinosaurs were sticking closer to nests. Jack looked back at the Tyrannosaurus. Good, the monster still didn't seem to know he was there. "Don't panic. Think. Think. Maybe there's information in the book." Jack opened the dinosaur book. He found Tyrannosaurus Rex. He read, "Tyrannosaurus Rex was the largest meat-eating land animal of all time. If it were alive today, it would eat a human in one bite." Great book was no help at all. "Okay, you can hide on the other side of the hill. The Anatosauruses might stampede." "Okay, you can run to the treehouse. Tyrannosaurus might run faster." "Okay, maybe you should just wait. Wait for the monster to leave." Jack peeked around the tree. Tyrannosaurus had wandered closer to the hill. Something caught Jack's eye. Annie was coming down the rope ladder. Was she nuts? What was she doing? Uh-oh. Jack watched Annie hop off the ladder. She went straight to the pteranodon. She was talking to him. She was flapping her arms. She pointed at Jack, at the sky, at the treehouse. She was nuts. Go back up the tree," Jack whispered. "Go!" Suddenly Jack heard a roar. The The Tyrannosaurus Rex was looking in his direction. Jack hit the ground. Tyrannosaurus Rex was coming towards the hill. Jack felt the ground shaking. Could he run? Fall back into Dinosaur Valley? Climb the magnolia tree? Just then a giant shadow covered Jack. Looked up. The Pteranodon was gliding overhead. The giant creature sailed down towards the top of the hill. He's coming straight for Jack. Chapter 9. The Amazing Ride. The Pteranodon coasted down to the ground. He stared at Jack with his bright, alert eyes. What was Jack supposed to do? Climb on? But I'm too heavy, thought Jack. Don't do it. Don't think. Just do it. Jack looked at the Tyrannosaurus. He was starting up the hill. His giant teeth were flashing in the sunlight. Okay, don't think. Just do it. Jack put his book in his pack. Then he eased down on the Pteranodon's back. He held on tightly. The creature moved forward, spread out his wings, and lifted off the ground. They teetered this way, then that. Jack nearly fell off. The Pteranodon stayed himself, and rose into the sky. Jack looked down. The Tyrannosaurus was chomping the air and staring at him. The Pteranodon glided away, sailed over the hilltop, circled over the valley, over all the nests filled with babies, over all the giant duck-billed dinosaurs. Then the Pteranodon soared out over the plain, over to the Triceratops who were grazing in the high grass. It was amazing. It was a miracle. Jack felt like a bird, as light as a feather. The wind was rushing through his hair. Air smelled sweet and fresh. He whooped. He laughed. Jack couldn't believe it. He was riding on the back of an ancient flying reptile. The Pteranodon sailed over the stream, over the ferns and bushes. He carried Jack down to the base of the oak tree. When they came to a stop, Jack slid off the creature's back and landed on the ground. Then the Pteranodon took off again and glided into the sky. "Bye, Henry," said Jack. "Are you okay?" Annie shouted from the treehouse. Jack pushed his glasses into place, kept staring at the Pteranodon. "Jack, are you okay?" Annie called. Jack looked up at Annie. He smiled. "Thanks for saving my life," he said. "That was really fun." "Climb up," said Annie. Jack tried to stand. His legs were wobbly. Felt a bit dizzy. "Hurry," shouted Annie. "He's coming!" Jack looked around. Triceratops was heading towards him. Jack looked around. The Tyrannosaurus was heading straight towards them. Jack bolted to the ladder, grabbed the sides, and started up. "Hurry, hurry!" screamed Annie. Jack scrambled into the treehouse. "He's coming towards the tree!" Annie cried. Suddenly something slammed against the oak tree. The treehouse shook like a leaf. Jack and Annie tumbled into the boats. "Make a wish!" cried Annie. "We need the book, the one with the picture of Frog Creek," said Jack. "Where is it?" Pushed some book aside. Had to find that book about Pennsylvania. There it was. He grabbed it and tore through it, looking for a photograph of the Frog Creek woods. He found it. Jack pointed to the picture. "I wish we could go home," he shouted. The wind began to moan, softly at first. "Hurry!" Jack yelled. The wind picked up. It was whistling now. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Jack closed his eyes, held on tightly to Annie. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. Chapter 10. Home Before Dark. A bird began to sing. Jack opened his eyes. He was still pointing at the picture of Frog Creek Woods. He peeked out to the treehouse window. Outside he saw the exact same view. "We're home," whispered Annie. The woods were lit with late afternoon light. The sun was about to set. No time had passed since they had left. "Jack! Annie!" a voice called from the distance. "That's Mom," said Annie, pointing. Jack saw their mother far away. She was staying in front of their house. She looked very tiny. "Annie! Jack!" she called. Annie stuck her head out the window and shouted, "Coming!" Jack still felt dazed. He just stared at Annie. "What happened to us?" he said. "We took a trip in a magic tree house," said Annie simply. "At the same time as when we left," said Jack. Annie shrugged. "And how did it take us so far away?" said Jack. "And so long ago. You just looked at the book and said you wished you could go there. And the magic tree house took us there." "But how?" said Jack. "And who built the magic tree house? Who put all the books here?" "A magic person, I guess." "A magic person?" "Oh, look," said Jack. "Almost forgot about this." He reached into his pocket and pulled out the gold medallion. "Someone lost this back there in Dinosaur Land. Look, there's a letter M on it." Annie's eyes got round. "You think M stands for magic person?" she said. "I don't know," said Jack. "I just know someone went to that place before us." "Jack! Annie!" came the distant cry again. Annie poked her head out the window. "Coming!" she shouted. Jack put the gold medallion back in his pocket, pulled the dinosaur book up his back, and put it back with all the other books. Then he and Annie took one last look around the treehouse. "Goodbye, house," whispered Annie. Jack slung his backpack over his shoulder, pointed at the ladder. Annie started down. Jack followed. Seconds later they hopped onto the ground and started walking out the woods. "No one's going to believe our story," said Jack. "So let's not tell anyone," said Annie. "Dad won't believe it," said Jack. "He'll say it was a dream," said Annie. "Mom won't believe it," said Jack. "She'll say it was pretend," said Annie. "My teacher won't believe it. She'll say you're nuts," said Annie. "We better not tell anyone," said Jack. "I already said that," said Annie. Jack sighed. "Thinking I'm starting to not believe it myself," he said. They left the woods and started up the road towards her house. As they walked past all the houses on the street, the trip to Dinosaur Time did seem more and more like a dream. Only this world and this time seemed real. Jack reached into his pocket, clasped the gold medallion, felt the engraving on the letter M, made Jack's fingers tingle. Jack laughed. Suddenly he felt very happy. He couldn't explain what had happened today, but he knew for sure that their trip in the magic tree house had been real. Absolutely real. "Tomorrow," Jack said softly, "we'll go back to the woods." "Of course," said Annie. "And we'll climb up to the tree house," said Jack. "Of course," said Annie. "See what happens next," said Jack. "Of course," Annie. They took off together, running for home.
Thank you so much for joining us for story time. That's the end of the Magic Tree House book number 1, and next we'll be doing book number 2. Have a great night.